everybody, and welcome to the third episode of Nozama Oasis, our threadbare TTRPG game in collaboration with the QueerXP. I'm so excited for all of you who are here watching, and I am so excited to once again introduce all of my wonderful players. Um, I will actually introduce myself first because I always forget. I am Erica Jean. I am the GM for this wonderful game. My socials are CallingACleric315 over on Instagram and CallingACleric15 over on the site that was once X, or is now X, which once was Twitter. I don't know, it all blends together. But tonight we are going to start with DJ. Start in the middle of the pack today.
Middle of the pack. Hi, everyone. My name is DJ. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I am. This is just delightful. I am so excited to be here. I am technically the growth and development. I don't remember my title. Lead for the QueerXP. So I got to help make all of this happen with 5% chance and these amazing people over here too who get to play with us. So I love it. You can find me on the internet as at DJ_KQ on Twitter, or Shinsei Durhal on Discord. And I play QT, who speaks like this, so you'll be hearing a lot of this. I hope you enjoy it.
We're gonna head over to the lovely Aaliyah.
Hello, lovelies. I'm Leah the Sorceress. You can find me usually over on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. The Sorceress Aaliyah. Occasionally over on Blue Sky, if that ever takes off, at Aaliyah the Sorceress. I will be playing, or I go by she, her, they pronouns, and I will be playing Science Officer Tren, a chalky toy from the 1970s based on a very popular and completely original IP of space exploration. Yeah, excited to play. I will pass it over to Kai.
Hello everyone, I wish everyone a good night. My name is Kaique, I go by Glaciate or Classiate on Discord. My pronouns are he, him, and tonight I'll be playing my dearest, most lovable sock, addicted to glitter, Duke Dean Sir Lord, more specifically. And yeah, I am very, very excited to play tonight, and honestly scared about what are going to happen. So yeah, I'll be passing up to Jason.
Hello, everybody. I am Jason Larock. My pronouns are affectionately he, himbo. You can, well, I'm trying to think of what to say next. I play Scotch Bonnet. He's a grump, but he's getting better. And I guess you could also find me on the site formerly known as Twitter, J_SON Larock, because I'm original and it's just my name. I'm pretty much on social media all over the place as that, so just look for me there. I post occasionally. I'm hyper fixated on video games at the moment, so I might not be necessarily posting, but you may see my characters from some hit MMORPGs that recently dropped new expansions. But other than that, I am also scared and afraid of tonight's session, but in a good way. So I can't wait to see what happens tonight. You're all in for a treat, and I know we are too.
Oh, you'll be fine. You're only just
Uh-huh.
traveling into the unknown.
Uh-huh.
Before we fully jump into this game, just a few little content warnings. This is a semi spooky and horror game, so of course the atmosphere will be a little bit on the the spooky and the quiet as our lovely players are traveling into the unknown business around them. There are elements of possible body horror, as well as some fearful, um, it might sometimes emotional uh, moments. And of course, there's always the possibility of Furbies. Um, so, before we jump fully in, are we all ready, players? Fantastic. When we last left off, the four of you were traveling on this tricycle out of your little oasis, hearing the camaraderie hums and singing and beats on a drum as those you are leaving behind come together in this moment of devastation. As you all set off into this dark and dim vastness, you follow along the trail that was left of the bits and bobs and pieces that had followed with this machinery. Tren, looking at the map, kind of figuring where this path had led, had noticed 3 different spots that were along this line: the office, packaging, and the front door. Around you is silent. All you hear is this buzzing from whatever light source is up above you, so far above that you're not really sure where it is located. The iron beams you can see in the distance, the different shadows of boxes and items kind of make your trek. Where do you go first? What do you find? Who is steering this tricycle?
I think I was. And I know we were following the path. I think as the path kind of thins out, Scotch is gonna slow down a little bit so that the 4 of them can really take in their surroundings. Kind of pose a question for the group and just, all right, we've made it this far, so what looks good? Which way?
Well, logic would seem to suggest that we plan out a systematic exploration, starting from the nearest and traveling outwards in a circle. I would say it would make sense to split up, but Mr. Surlor brought up some excellent points last time, and why thinning our forces in unfamiliar territory might not be the best of ideas.
Especially considering the size of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call myself afraid, but that is a prudent thought.
You're not afraid? Teach me your ways.
Well, I think we've all got to be afraid a little bit. You know?
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Fear is simply the mind killer, the little death which brings total oblivion. You must see your fears, face your fears, let them pass over and through you, and then you will come through the other side.
At the line of pass through you, QT will kind of look confused and like look around and like pull off one of their legs and try to like look in the hole to see like put the leg back.
I am afraid I understand what Miss Tran is saying. You see, as I am made of felt, it's easier for things like those little dropping things, I forgot the name, water or something, to pass through me. So it's understandable. So you're saying, Miss Tran, that fear is like a liquid that you have to absorb yourself into, let it weight you down as much as possible until it eventually evaporates and lets you probably a little dirtier.
That would be an apt analogy, I think, Mr. Sir Lord.
Of course.
Whatever gets us moving towards, say, the office seems like an interest or our closest direction.
Of course. I was about to suggest the office. It sounds like official.
You're so
Well,
smart,
it is.
Duke.
It
Thank
is
you,
closest.
Kitty. Oh, so
Scotch?
all the more reason.
Have you thoughts?
Thought about what?
Oh, Mr. Bonnet.
Ooh.
I think I'm just gonna go straight. I'm just gonna go in a direction. I know we've got all the different talks of fear and passing through and death and destruction and all this stuff, and I don't. Instead of just dwelling on it and getting a little too close to panic, I'm just gonna go. Is that cool with the group?
That's the spirit.
Okay,
appreciate
okay.
it.
All right, let's put the panic in the back seat for right now, and then just keep going. And he's gonna just start
the glitter in
pedaling.
the back seat.
No, Trend's not making
That
me.
is-
Well,
There is no room
It's a
for
bit-
panic
no,
in here.
no offense, Trend, but just the word death always kind of. I try to avoid the thought of it, just because it's so real in this moment specifically. But I get what you're saying. You're absolutely right. Gotta embrace the fear. Gotta think about it. When you don't want to, and then fight it with your own fists or something. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going.
That is exactly the attitude, Mr. Bonnet. And Tren trundles off and heads towards the office.
I believe we should
So-
follow Trin.
So, Tren, are you alone?
Well,
And
I
jumping off
had
the tricycle.
thought, yeah, I am not entirely sure myself. This is the direction Tren is going to head in. I'm not entirely sure that they're going to really check around. It just sort of, this is the direction they're going in, so they go.
Okay.
If people are following.
Oh yeah. Duke is not in the control of his movement.
So Duke and Tren, as you kind of take yourselves off of the tricycle, and head towards this light. It's a light source that is different than what is above you. And you can kind of see this in the distance, this offshoot of this very large structure, with a glass window kind of up above, a larger pane over to the left of it, and you can see the writing sketched in this smaller pane that reads office. There's low light in it, as you kind of make your way to this obstruction. As in, there's something in the way of getting beyond this structure. Can both of you roll scrounge to see if you can find your way beyond?
Of course.
A 9.
I got an 8.
Okay. So as you both make your way to this structure, you can see up above there's a tiny flap. That there must be a breeze or something that is coming from inside. That like you can hear the click 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 as it like kind of like screeches open and like falls back. You believe that there's a way for y'all to climb up and get into there. With the parts that you have on you, how would you like to do that?
Well, Mr. Sirlord, you still have a lot of that garland, the stringy.
Oh yes.
And I have a box of odds and ends and whatnot. So, do you think we could jury rig something that would like put these bits and bends, these like toothpicks and paper clips and whatnot to make like a hook that we could throw up into that and haul ourselves up on?
That is a very good possibility. I'm not as dexterous as Mr. Bonnet, but I can try and help. Let me see what I can do. And I'm going to try. Oh, I would like your help as well, if possible.
Absolutely. What are you planning, Mr. Sirlord?
Oh, I am going to do exactly what you said, but I am not particularly strong to,
Oh,
launch
absolutely.
a hook and things like that. So, would you mind?
Not at all.
Thank you.
Tell me what you are both rolling.
So
What are
I'll
you rolling for?
probably go for jury rig so I can create this hook and tie it to the string that we have.
Okay.
Okay, let me try it.
And well,
Okay, I got a 10.
Oh. Oh, wonderful.
and here I was going to offer help, but by all means.
Yeah. Fantastic. If you still wanted to roll help, you can still add that depending on what you roll.
Well, I figured now I would roll probably like a strong arm or something like that to throw it up in there.
To make
Perfect.
it.
Okay. Yeah.
To make the way for us.
So yes. So Duke is with all of his capabilities is able to kind of tie this this grappling hook and time it and kind of like get it and like you can watch as Tren you are rolling to throw this item.
Swing it.
All right.
Swing it up into that little gappy thing. 8.
8. Okay. You still succeed. But as you kind of go to swing and like you're watching as this flap opens and closes, you go and swing and you time it, and whenever you go to pull, you realize it's only going to support the weight of one of you. Like it caught, it's there. But also the timing of this is going to take some ease. It's almost as if like when the flap is closed, it's a little bit stronger. So
if one of us got up there, would they be able to pull the other through from up there? Or does it look like it's
Possibly.
Okay. Are you feeling particularly strong, Mr. Sir Lord?
Not at all. What do you suggest?
So, what I suggest is I climb up there, and if I can get up there, rather than letting you hurt yourself, I try and pull you up from there.
What about others?
Excellent. So yeah, I guess I will try and do that. I will try and climb up. Are there any difficulties or anything getting up there?
I will try to help Aliyah. Not Aliyah,
Uh,
sorry, Tren. I'll try to help Tren by kind of stabilizing the cable as much as possible so she can climb up as much as she can.
all right. If Duke can roll me a help, and then Tren, can you roll me stronghold, please? I will give you an additional +1 for your tie with Duke, and maybe an additional depending on what Duke rolled. So
Okay, help it's with smile, right?
Yes.
So I rolled a 9,
yes.
but I am paired up as a sock, so I treat it as a
Yes.
10.
Correct. So +2 to Tren's roll.
Eight altogether, just sneaking in.
Okay. All right. So you're able to make it up, and like as you are kind of climbing, in making your way up this rope, with the help of Duke down below, kind of like stabilizing it and trying to like keep his weight underneath you to make it a little bit easier of an ascendant. You kind of like time it a little bit with the flap as it opens, and you get your way through. And as you time your way through, I need you to roll one more strong for me to see if you can catch the break.
That's a 6.
So as you make your way through, you realize that as the flap is opening, it catches on the cord and snaps it.
No.
You were there. You were at the bridge. You're able to get your way into, but Duke is stuck at the bottom.
The rope comes spinning and coiling down
Onto Duke.
Oh.
Sorry, Duke.
I look at the
Wait
rope.
there for me.
We're going to pause there for a second and go back to QT and Scotch Bonnet sitting with the tricycle. The two of you just watched two of your friends exit the vehicle and go to this luminous light off to the right of you. As you sit there waiting, QT, a familiar sound reaches your ear. Of this Good morning. Hello?
Is there anything I can roll to try to identify, like, more than recognizing it?
Yeah, roll smile for me.
That's a 12. I'm very good at
Perfect.
smile.
So QT, you In all of the stories that you've heard and everyone that you have talked to, you have heard of these creatures who always want to get closer but are too afraid, who have been pushed off so many times, so they kind of stay in the shadows. They're these round, almost egg-like looking creatures with small, tiny feet and a beak, tiny ears that are furry and fluffy. And they just kind of surround the outside of the oasis. They are
Are they
protective.
okay? Are they have they ever been aggressive?
No one has ever gotten close enough to know. It is kind of that story that is told in the shadows of the unknown, where it is unclear. If anything, they could be. If you don't
So
pay them enough attention.
if you don't pay okay. QT will look to Scotch. Relay this information. So Scotch, we have a decision.
Uh-huh.
Do we run, or do we battle fear with our own and stay high? And I can do that. People love me, but and QT will get closer to Scotch. I'm still scared.
Yeah. I get you. It shouldn't be too bad. You're good with people. Yeah?
I think it's what I'm good with, yeah.
See, then there's nothing for us to be scared of. If we've got your charm and your personableness, then I think we'll be fine. We'll be okay. I also just don't want to leave, the group until they come back, because it would be terrible for them to come back and we're just gone. So we'll stick here and just go get him, champ.
So QT will pretty quickly crawl out of the basket and kind of look to where they heard the good morning and the sounds, and calmly, but not like super loud and obnoxious, but like, well, hello, good morning to you too.
You hear the chittering. Click, click. Like the sound of like plastic closing and opening. And you hear like the tapping. Good morning.
Well, good morning. My name's QT. Do you have a name?
I'm Furby. And you watch out of the shadow this adorable looking creature. Giant eyes. Like little tiny like beak, furry that is like covered in these wonderful colors. You see the purple and like the magenta like stomach, almost like a teddy bear, and the tiny little feet kind of come out and like peek out. Hello, cutie. Are we friends?
Well, hello, Furby. I think we're friends. And can I roll a make friends roll?
You may.
Another 12.
Wonderful. You see quickly as you. What would you like to do with this make friends? Because I feel like there's some things that you have the option.
Yeah, I am trying to come off as non-threatening and really open to being friends and trying to figure out that this is the second time I've come across them, and it's really just like in Cutie's mind as well. There's like no one's ever done this before, so like there's a little bit of like excitement about their adventure that they're going on. So, but it is a genuine. Cutie wants to make friends with everyone who wants to be Cutie's friend.
You watch as this tiny little creature, who, when I say tiny compared to QT, is not tiny. It stands probably about 4 times larger than you are, as it kind of rushes towards you. Friend! And you watch as this kind of like iridescent light bubbles up to its cheek. And it goes, I need friend! Scotch, what you see coming out of the shadows around you, because you can see this interaction from where you're sitting on the tricycle,
Yeah.
are 4 or 5 different colorations of the same creature kind of coming up and surrounding you all, the 2 of you. And you hear the chittering, Fred, hello, good morning. I'm Fabby. All of these like different sounds that are going off, and all of them kind of pairing that same iridescent, wonderful light.
So from where we are, they're just all around us, right?
They've kind of like come out of the shadows. Yeah, they've.
Oh no. Like, hi.
Hi, I'm Furby. Are you my
Yes.
friend? You see as like 3 of them approach.
Oh, you're all very big. Now when you say, now I'm curious what your definition of friend is.
Do you not love us?
Well, I just met you, so I think maybe it'll take some time for us to get to know each other, but it's not off the table. I just why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Selves, multiple of you.
And you kind of watch as the 3 that have kind of like come up to you, and like QT, you've also have like 2 that have kind of surrounded. So there's like 6 altogether. You watch the 3 of them kind of like shake, and like their arms like start flapping as they get a little anxious, and just go. We just. We're just Fabby. We don't know.
That's okay. Is there does that stand for something? Does Furby mean something, or is that just a name you all share?
Oh, what's his name?
Mine or yours?
No,
I'm.
what,
s-
what, what,
What is?
what is name?
So hearing
You
that,
see,
Cutie would like get a grin on their face and look at Scotch and be like, "Scotch, we get to help them pick names."
I don't know if it was the pick names bit. I think it's a bit more existential. But
want
if
why you want eggs
no,
right now?
no,
Eggs. That's a big
No.
word.
yes, I'll let's okay. I think it's a bit more. What does having a name mean? But there isn't enough time to go into all of that today. So, Furby friends, let's just. Why don't we all come around to this side? And he kind of like motions towards in front of the tricycle, so there's a little less all around them and more together in front of them, and kind of motions like a let's all come together. We're just we can all be friends this way in a line where I can see all of you.
Scotch,
Yes.
can you also roll make friends? I will give
Hmm.
you a +1.
Well, thanks. That levels it out to a nice +0. Um. Mhm. Okay. 8.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Uh,
scared.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Uh,
You're good.
you you kind of see as like you give this direction um that some of them are still very skittish. You kind of watch that same pattern of behavior as they kind of like shake and like flap their wings and kind of like um but they do eventually, with some help from QT and the Furby that they have made friends with, kind of bring everyone into a clump in front of you. Uh, Picture like kindergarten, like story time.
Mhm.
They are all sitting there waiting, eyes wide, like just kind of like not blinking rapid, like every like kind of like see like the every once in a while there's like a blink. Um, but that glow of light is still within them. Like you still see like the bubbling, um, and the kind of like that kind of calmness, uh, that they're just ready and attentive for whatever you are going to tell them.
Great. His worst fear.
Cutie will kind of saddle up to Scotch and say, "Scotch, you're very smart. I'm not, but I really like talking to people and making friends. I think that's new for you."
Mhm. Yeah. I was actually going to ask, because you're so good with making friends, I think this would be a perfect job for you.
You think I can do it?
I think you were born to do this.
Okay.
And then
Let's
Scotch is
this.
gonna. Well, it seems like they're also looking to make friends. And if there's anybody more skilled in making friends, I think that's probably going to be you more than me.
If there are things that we want, like we want to ask them, you will be better at that. But I can become their friend.
Okay, you can. I mean, it's simple. We could just start by asking them, like, where they're from, what do they like to do, why they're here. Are they looking for something?
Okay.
Is there something that we have that they want? Simple questions that you can do way better than me.
Don't sell yourself short. I'm short. But
Oh,
I got this.
Yeah, I think you're perfect for this.
And every time you give Cutie a compliment, they smile really genuinely.
Yeah, it's
Cutie will-
mostly he doesn't want to do it.
Cutie doesn't know that. Cutie thinks that you think the world of them.
You know what? That's okay. And Scotch just kind of like gives QT like a little tap on the head with the barrel of monkey's arm. Just like tap, tap, tap. And just go get him.
Cutie will go to the first Furby that made friends and slowly pull out one of the like feathery boa cords and offer it and say, I think this will look good on my friend. May I?
Oh, yes.
So-
A gift?
A gift! Friends give gifts. Cutie will stop the noise and be like, no. I am giving you a gift. You don't have to give me one. We're friends. Friends for not transaction. Not. You don't have to do it because I did it.
Okay.
So Cutie will very like softly like wrap it around and kind of tie it. So it's like almost like the necklace you're wearing kind of thing. So it distinguishes them a little bit differently than the rest of the other Furbies.
Thank you.
It looks good.
Ooh. Ah.
And he like watches like they like start to like their arms like chitter and they like begin like and like turn around. And they kind of like
Cutie.
rush you.
Cutie will like start mirroring it, like can't flap wings, but like do a little turnaround, like, and then they rush them and will kind of like be a little like surprised, but not like attack or
And
react. Just like
you just feel the softness. It's like how abrupt that that rush is met with the gentlest of pats on QT as like they pat to like give you a hug.
Cutie will start like giggling because it's lots of emotions and doesn't know how to process them very well. But it's soft. And like Cutie will say that and kind of like rest their cheek on the like stomach of their friend. And just be like, so soft.
As you do that, the pats become an actual like embrace. QT now has a tie with the Furbies.
I mean, yes. So
And as the rest
will-
of the group,
Mhm.
actually, you go. I wanna see what you say.
Cutie will also rummage through their pack, and for each one of them, find a unique shiny thing that they have, and give them each of them. So one of them gets like one of the shiny stars, and just each of them have a unique thing, or like if I don't have enough, so if I had 4 of the boas, so they're tied different ways, or they're worn different. Like one has them as a headband, and so it's different opportunities for Cutie to know who is who. And even though they might not have different names, like they have individualism now.
And every time you go up to someone new, they have, where like the first reaction was that wonderful embrace. You watch as like one gets a little shy as like you tie like the headband, and they just go,
Oh, thank you, friend.
and they just like kind of like jitter in their spot and kind of like tap their toes. You go to like the next one and kind of like tie it almost like a bolo tie, and they just squeal with excitement and kind of like run circles around the other, like do like a figure 8 around the other two friends. And like as like you continue to go, like there's a different show of appreciation and just excitement of being seen, of being part of something different and being different from everyone else, that they then look up and look at each other, and you almost, which was like an interspersant, like intermittent visual of like that light, that ambiance kind of like of appreciation has now just stayed. Their cheeks are just fully lit and cheery. There is a wonderful light within like their bodies as they're looking at one another, and looking at the two of you. And then they look back up at Scotch.
Name? What is name? We want name.
You want name? Okay. I guess, do each of you have something that you like? Like a favorite color, a favorite flower, a favorite thing?
You watch as each of them light up. Like you see the expression change as you begin talking about favorites. And one of them, who is this like polka dotted blue and yellow with like a white forefront, goes,
Flower. Yes. Tulip?
Oh, that's
Oh, no. Yes, tulip.
see, that's a great name. Do you want your name to be Tulip?
I have name.
I mean, if you want it, then it's yours.
I have name. I tulip.
and you see the excitement, and again like the running and sprinting.
Thank you.
And
Sure, no problem.
each of them go down the line and like pick things out of what makes them happy, what makes them feel different. There's some that one really enjoys Stofers, which the three of you who were in the frozen section, that's probably where they were. It is something they always saw. And each of them begin creating their own identities. As the two of you enjoy this moment, we're going to cut back to the office.
Will we get all 5 of their names at some point?
Yes, you will. Give me a second. So, Trent, you are up in this crevice with the flapping door. You have made your way up and are kind of in an area where you're uh, between both the outside and the inside of the office. As you hold on to the flap to keep yourself stable, you can look in. Below is a different type of flooring. It's not the terrain that you're used to in the outside world. This seems a little soft, almost like grass or wheat fields. It seems from this distance to have some texture to it. There are different perches around, like almost level with that flap, probably about 10 feet away from you seems to be another ledge. There are different papers and long utensils. There is a large monitor that you see with a larger kind of like button pad, similar to like what you would find in your ship, just on a grander scale. There, from your perch, it seems to be some things in the shadows. Smaller boxes, something that's very like clean and clear, almost as thin as paper, resting there. What catches your eye more is a larger version of what is in your base camp. A very similar map that is located on the back wall. And you see the same dot in a different place from your map, with the same lines, the same like hatched lines of the dot of you are here, and the etch marks to the front door.
Can I be like, is this something only I can see, or can I relate it down to Duke?
You can definitely relate the image down. You need to do a little bit more exploring to see if there's something that you can take with you.
And like, it's completely sealed. Like, I wouldn't be able to open up for Duke from, like, there's nothing I can see there would be a entryway to get him in.
Can you roll a scrounge for me?
Can certainly try. 13.
Oh, wonderful. Fantastic. So as you're kind of like looking around, you kind of like turn as you're kind of sitting between both spaces, and you look behind you and you see this giant knob, like this round circle, and on the end of it is a little switch. You know what this is. You have very similar things in your ship of how you can open and close different quarters.
compartments.
and you know how to work it. You turn around and you balance yourself on there, and you kind of like swing to this knob. You push and turn the button, and you push off, and it opens. Just enough.
Well, and I call out and I call down. I'm still relatively high up, right? Like I'm on the door handle.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I yell it. Mr. Sirlord! Mr. Sirlord! I think I've gotten you an entrance.
Duke is going to take a few pints of glitter and he's going to throw up on the parts that he can throw and reach, just so it can be visible.
Mhm.
And he does that in the meantime while waiting for any response from Tran, and up until the point that he hears her calling him, and he goes, "Oh, most magnificent." He puts the glitter back on his hat and starts making his way up into the door and looks up and continues to look up, and oh my stars, Tran, you're really high.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Do you want any help getting down?
Does that look soft there? That different flooring?
I examine the flooring.
It is definitely a different material than what you both have been walking on. There is some cushion to it, there is some give as you make your way through the opening that Trent has given you. It is still a long way down.
It's the.
Um,
Do I just?
Duke looks up and says, "Wait one moment." And Duke is going to try and find something to probably help when Tren eventually jumps, because he can't reach up there. So something to cushion the floor where Tren eventually falls.
Can you roll scrounge for me?
Of
For find
course.
items.
That's a 9.
9. Okay. Cool. So, as you are going around to find some things, you kind of Trend still kind of up there on the doorknob. You make your way around. And you find this very kind of gushy, kind of plasticky material, and kind of pull, and it's on this long spool, and you're able to kind of roll it up and put down this soft pad underneath, to support where Trent is going to fall.
Duke puts it on the floor, looks at Tren and says, "I think this is as best as we can give in this place."
No better options presenting themselves. I suppose you're right. Wise philosopher once said that the secret to flying is aiming for the ground and missing, so I'll either get down there or I'll learn to fly. And as that jumps off and aims for the padding that Duke has set up before her. Do I need to roll for that?
No. You actually don't need to roll for that. There was probably a long enough, you go. And what happens, that same breeze that was probably opening and closing the flap catches you. So for a moment as you jump, you do lift a little. And you feel the breath and the breeze of flying as you make your final descension, coming down to the ground.
I'm a leaf on the wind.
Yeah. I was like, gravity takes you. You kind of go and you fall into this uh, pillow. As you make landing, you do hear like a pop, 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 as some of the air below you releases. But you are safe. You're on the ground.
Duke is examining the plastic material. This is looking rather soft. Interesting. What about you, Tren?
I seem to be completely undamaged. I would agree that it is quite soft. Useful, too. We might want to consider bringing that back on our way out. That being said, we need to find more information about where our townspeople may have gone.
Considering the lack of sounds and apparent mess caused by the debris of our lovely oasis, I do not think they are here.
I think you were right, but I did see something up on that surface up there. A clear box that I did want to take another closer look at, as well as they have you know the map that's in my base camp that showed us how to get here, right?
Yes, I am aware of it.
There's one here, but it's different. I just want to double check and see how.
Is it smart to leave the others alone?
Probably not. However,
Let's go do it and watch your thing. Yes.
we will come back to them soon. It's just we probably won't come back here, so.
Of course, I am very curious.
And Trent takes Duke to the back to wherever to get back up onto his desk, I am assuming.
Yeah. So you kind of make your way over to where this map is. And as you're kind of like finding your way over to the desk, you see visually the whole layout of where you are. It is massive. There are territories that are not even on the map that you were given. That is just a fraction of something that you are used to seeing, Tren. The one that you have kind of live in and day out as this is the whole. This has grown exponentially. And you can see the larger kind of like traces of it. And see where the trajectory of like where you came from. And you see the labeling on it for the first time of where the Oasis is as returns or damaged.
Do I see Duke notice this?
Duke, do you notice this?
Oh yeah. You see Duke kind of leaning down, adjusting his monocle as he's reading. What do you say about this map?
I'm not entirely sure. I have some thoughts. I think I may know what this might be about. But I don't think there's anything more we can learn here. I think we should get back to the others.
Are you sure?
I think we've been away for too long.
Understandable. I do believe that we should go there before they start, I don't know, losing themselves in some friendship galore or something.
We would hate to see them being taken over by the locals or something like that. You're right.
Exactly. But Ren, he kind of points at the damage. Isn't this the place that our Oasis is?
I believe that it is. I believe that it is. I'm not entirely sure what that'll mean for us, but I can't imagine it's anything good.
It doesn't matter. If it's damaged, we make it new.
Excellent philosophy.
Anyway, considering we had no luck in this place, perhaps we can find them in the storage? Is that the name?
Packaging, but
Packaging.
that
wonder
would
what
be the
they're
next
packing.
place to check.
I wonder what they're packing.
Some
And he,
excellent-
with that, he kind of lips to the way down.
As you go down, you kind of take a bunch of papers with you. And one thing you do find is a portable map with sectors written. You have the map, a smaller one, a printout. And what you see on this smaller map is someone who has crossed out damaged.
It's just completely X'd out and there's nothing written into it.
Is completely X'd out. And above it is written art. With a question mark. Unknown? Question mark. Surprises! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Possibilities. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
I assume Train was the one to find that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Duke, in the moment that Train stops walking, Duke bolts back and is looking with the huge eyes of curiosity. What do you think this means?
To be honest with you, I have no idea. But it is something definitely to look into, and maybe someone else knows what the surprises may be or who Art is. I'm not sure.
I am quite sure Art is the name of a king.
It does sound it sounds like it could be a shortened form of Arthur. That is correct.
Yeah. Let's go back. Let's go back.
Yeah, folding up our things, taking this thing. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I need to do in the office.
I'll take a little of the bubble wrap.
I was gonna say we should bring some of that bubble wrap with us if we can get some string and just like backpack it behind us.
Absolutely.
As the two of you are packaging up some bubble wrap, folding up this piece of paper with the map on it, we will cut back to the Furbies, now with new names, Scotch, Bonnet, and QT.
So in the interim, QT is like regaling them with the story of the Oasis and all of the friends they're gonna have when they're there, and especially talking about Duke and Tran, and just like, and how Scotch made the tricycle, and we can ride in the tricycle. It was like, it's total just excited words on it of just like, these are our friends, they're gonna live with me now, and here's all of the information they need to know about the Oasis when it's back to normal. They are also telling the story of why they're out here though, so I think that they're getting just to the part of like the scary of like, and people took our friends and those kinds of things.
So, as you are regaling of this tale and how the Oasis was and will be, and this pinnacle point of the scary, you watch as both Tulip and Stouffer kind of go,
Oh, oh, yeah, big, mean, machiney thing. Long teeth. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, yeah. We hide from him. When the lights go low, like right now, the big man, it tends to search. We're sorry he found you.
So you've seen him before?
We hide. You're our first friends.
It's okay.
But
He's scary.
it is so scary. It's so scary. But he drives. He almost got fish kibble over there. The one time, he's unknown. But even when the lights are bigger, he's still in the machine. But with someone less plushy.
So, the machine itself is separate from the thing controlling it?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, he changes seats, so maybe he is the machine. Oh, what if he is the machine?
and you kind of like see all the.
Well, let's not jump to it that quickly, but okay, so I guess that's something else that we've got to look out for. It's not just the machine, but whoever is controlling the machine. If there is someone controlling the machine. Okay.
You said less plastic. Like plastic? And like will knock on themselves and so the hollow plastic sound.
You watch as like another one kind of comes forward, who is like blue and like magenta colored, with like a black forefront, who has named themselves Pop Tart. So Pop Tart comes forward.
No, like not hard.
Like they'll knock on their own like beak.
Like like stretchy.
And
But Also, Trashy, uh, is
Scotch kind of goes over to the tricycle, and there's probably some kind of coil on it somewhere, and
Mhm.
kind of moves the coil like stretchy, like this kind of stretchy.
They'll go over and like pluck it.
Kinda.
And like they'll tilt like onto one foot because they don't actually have a head. In confusion.
Uh, um, 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 uh. They leave. They don't stay.
And you'll
You
watch as
know,
like
do
yeah.
you know what causes them to leave?
The big horn. The horn.
The horn.
Yeah, there's a horn that goes off. And whatever they're doing, they will stop whatever they're doing, and walk through a portal.
Have we, at the Oasis, have we heard a horn sound before, or is it something that's farther away from where we are? Would you say?
You know of a noise that tends to be the signal of the beginning of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It is the first, it is your sunrise.
Gotcha.
It is a radiating vibration that kind of goes through. Scotch, you have probably been the only one who has been up to watch the lights dim
Mm-hmm.
and hear that noise.
Okay. So the lights dim after the sound.
Correct.
Okay. Interesting.
Do you know where this portal is?
Oh, yeah. It's up that way.
And like they just
We can take you.
And Kitty will like smile. Is it Pop-Tart still?
yeah, it's Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart, thank you. Let's wait for our friends Duke and Tran, who hopefully will be here soon. And then if you could take us, that'd be amazing.
Okay.
And Cutie will kind of like go back to playing with them, I guess, because they have nothing really to do but wait.
It's pretty much at like this time as you have like kind of finished this conversation, that you see this like actually you probably hear it before you see like every once in a while there's like a pop, like the billowing of plastic in the wind, as you watch Tren and Duke come closer to the tricycle.
I would have long on the journey back asked Duke if he knew any good marching songs. So it's very well within the possibility that we're both like marching and singing poorly on the way back.
Yes, Duke know the words for a music called God Save the Queen.
That sounds very appropriate and very like your monarchistic sensibilities.
Yes. And as we approach, we kind of see that they have a few more guests than before, right? Bigger guests.
It's probably at this time that QT is like taking off one of their arms and is like explaining how they like fit into each other and and like is asking like if you see anything that could like go in, like that could be like I would love that, and kind of notice and go, oh hi Duke, Tran, and wave like holding the arm that's not plugged into the socket.
Just that extra reach in there.
Mm-hmm.
Duke's going to approach looking at the Furbies, gigantic in comparison to him. Oh. It's most fortunate that we find big welcoming friends. Is that it?
Yes. Remember the noises we heard in the cold area?
Hmm.
And like Cutie will jazz hands at the like ta-da. So Furbies, this is Duke Sir Lord. And
Most
this
enchanted.
is Science Commander Trenton.
Same.
And
Pleasure to meet you.
this is Tulip, Stouffer's, Fish Kibble, Pop Tart, and what's the last one?
Hi, I am Annie.
And Annie.
Hi, I am. Diffuser.
Diffuser?
Diffuser.
Lovely names.
They know where the and I'll look at Scotch. The big guy? The
Loosen up.
thing that took our friends and part of the Oasis. They might know where. So there's a big thing that we saw that beeps and like and like will very poorly retell the story of everything with
The
like
entire-
No one's going to stop you.
yeah, and just like and it takes people and it might be something inside, we don't really know, but like it's there and they leave out the portal and like they're gonna take us to the portal.
Interesting. We
Very
did found a map.
Interesting.
We found a map.
and it's
Like the one you have, Trent?
bigger, actually. More information.
Bigger?
And we also found a little one.
So many fun things.
And while Cutie is like gushing and whatnot, I'm fully over unfolding the map in front of the Furbies. Not phased. They're now part of the crew.
As you unfold this map, you kind of watch as all 6 of them kind of huddle around you now, and then realize they need to spread out. So they go to like all of the corners of this this map, like
Oh! Portal!
and you watch as Diffuser walks chittering around to what is labeled front door.
That's where the portal is?
Portal.
Oh, do we have any writing implements around? Scotch? Mr. Sirlord, or Mr. Bonnet, Mr. Sirlord? Mr. T?
Do you take me for? Of course. And he takes off a little glitter that's on that glue, so you can actually write with it.
I would take that.
What do you want
And,
it for?
and putting a big X on the front door on this map here is where we need to go.
I actually believe that he draws a star. This form is better.
I'm
When-
unfamiliar with your local linguistics, but I will cede to your judgment.
It's pretty.
When Trent marks the X, Cutie will go, oh, X marks the spot.
What's the logic behind it?
Uh,
It's
As
good to see
you
that your
unfurl
lessons are
it-
coming along, Mr. T.
as you unfurl and you mark the map of your next destination. You see as the new friends you have made kind of keep looking at each other.
Kuti,
Yes,
Can
Miss
we-
Kibble?
can we help? We don't want to be left alone again.
Friends help friends. But friends also protect friends. So you can always help. But I don't want you to get hurt.
I don't want to get hurt either.
So as long as you're not gonna get hurt, yeah, you can help.
Okay.
I
We
do
can
have
tell
a
you what the big squishy man is.
well, that was, um, we might benefit from having eyes on the situation.
And
since-
Cutie will pop their eyes out.
No. You don't have to do that.
Oh.
That
Clever
was
joke.
horrifying. If you all want to help, then having someone, I guess, keep us informed on where this thing might be. If you see the big monster claw, or the thing that pilots the monster claw, kind of passing that information to us would be helpful.
Okay.
I might be having something that can help with that. And Duke is going to take off the bubble wrap, and he's going to take strings of it, but kind of preserving the bubbles. And he's going to give one string for each Furby. These things are quite loud when you pop them. So if you see the thing, you can just pop them,
Huh.
and we will be warned.
Immediately, Daffodil pops theirs, and you
What is
just like
thing?
watch like they like bite into the beak.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize how bad it was. I just wanted to see if it actually worked. I didn't see anything. I promise.
It was.
Can I have another one?
He takes off another one and gives to her.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, do we take them that they will be helping us by watching around? Is that it?
Yeah, that's the gist of it.
Very well.
Cutie will also look at the mall and go, once we have the rest of our Oasis, you get to come with us and join. No more being alone.
Thank you.
Kinda looks fun.
And it's like all of them kind of like chitter, and you watch for the first time, Duke and Tren are kind of seeing this light within these creatures, within the Furbies, as they kind of like illuminate even more. It was there whenever you first met them, but now it is 10 times brighter. As the little like kind of like bubbles on their forefront and their cheeks get all rosy. They feel welcome, and they feel included, and they feel seen. And as they kind of like go into the shadows again, going before the four of y'all, as they kind of go back into the darkness, you kind of watch as those lights dim, but it's for the first time by choice, not by survival, as they all take their little balloons to pop if they see danger. And every once in a while, as you're continuing to travel down this thoroughfare, down this this hallway, following the map that Tren found towards the portal, towards your next destination, you see every once in a while, as you glance into the shadow, just a little like beacon of light to let them know that they are still there with you. You keep going and you make it through packaging, and you can kind of see different things and creatures kind of like peeking up over this large machinery and seeing you and hiding again. You keep going and you enter an area that is dark and dim. You see to your left a sign that says exit. Below it says welcome. And to the other side, you see this array of giant machinery, all of which mimicking something that you have heard and seen before. You turn knowing you are in the right place. In the silence, waiting, listening, looking. Pop! 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 Over to the left of you.
He's here.
You see coming from the shadow this odd shape lit by the light above, walking through the darkness. Have you come to visit me? Or have you come to reclaim your friends? And that is where we're going to end tonight.
We still don't get to know what this thing looks like. Really?
You are going to wait 2 weeks!
No! No!
But it's 2 weeks with a Furby army.
Yes,
That's
we
true.
have a,
We do
we
have a
have a
Furby
Furby
army.
army. They are gigantic.
And they're soft.
They're
Good.
so soft.
I think if we get, at the very least, we have a tricycle. We can throw it at the big monster thing. If it gets damaged, we can turn it into a sled, and we've got like 6 Furbies to carry us home on.
You know what? I'll be willing to sacrifice it. If
And
need be, we could sacrifice the tricycle.
I
Dude,
picture
we
this,
will
like,
anoint
a new
any.
version of the like Aphrodite and the like shell, like being pulled by like dolphins, but it's us and Furbies.
I will. Yeah, that's the perfect image. Duke is the Aphrodite on the shell.
Oh yeah, Duke would be Aphrodite.
The arms
Oh,
waving
right.
like the hair.
I love it. Yes, I'm going to keep you in suspense for just a little bit longer. Because really, it would ruin everything for the end. So, as I said, 2 weeks. We are off next week, but we will be back on August 8th. Let me figure out how calendars work real quick. Yes, August 8th. Thursday. Whatever that Thursday is, the first full week of August. Haha, I was right. for the final installment of this wonderful campaign. For y'all to save your friends, make new friends. You never know. But before we sign off this evening, I once again will allow y'all to introduce each other. And I will start with Jason, because that is where we ended.
Oh, you picked the moment that my allergies were attacking my
sorry.
eyeball. No, you're fine. Hi, everybody. I'm Jason Larock. I played Scotch Bonnet tonight. What a time. What I think that's what happens every time after these sessions. I have no idea what to say because my brain is going a million miles a minute. If you want to see all the shenanigans and things that I get up to on the daily, you can find me on the site formerly known as Twitter or on any other social media platform as J_Sun, SON, Larock, because I am original. Just come and follow me there, say hi, like my posts. I don't know. Get the algorithm, fix the algorithm. Help me fix my algorithm, your algorithm. I don't know. Get me on it. I don't know how that works, but just get me on your algorithm or something. Yeah, that's all I got. Who was before me? Who went before me?
That
Do you
doesn't matter. Pick
remember?
someone.
All right. Kai.
Hey, um, thank y'all for the game. It was really fun. And for everyone watching, I'm Kaique, Glaciate or Classiate in Discord. I played Duke, and yeah, can't wait for next week. Not next week. Sadly, the week after the next week. I'm anxious. I really want to see how this ends. Yeah, so thank y'all for the game. It was great. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, woof. Let me pass it to Aaliyah.
Yeah, wow. I'm with everyone else in the like, okay, this is going to take a week or two to decompress, so that's fine. We will see you in 2 weeks. I am Aaliyah Hudson. I was playing Lieutenant Commander Tren, science officer of the spaceship Doomstar. Yeah, and you can follow me on the site formerly known as Twitter, Aaliyah the Sorceress. Various permutations of how those words work. This summer, I'm kind of taking off, but you should see me back in the fall, hopefully out on these channels. But check me on there. I'll announce where I'm going, and I will pass it over to DJ QT.
Hey everyone, DJ or QT, the new Furby Whisperer, apparently, which is not what I was expecting. You can find me on the site formerly known as Twitter as DJ_KQ. You can find me on Discord as Shinsei Durhall, or being part of the team that runs the QueerXP. And if you like the shenanigans we get into, while we have never been on an episode of the QueerXP together, we all have been on other episodes and equally as chaotic. So there's many opportunities for you to find us, listen to us, and just revel in our amazingness over there.
Thank you all once again. I will definitely say I watched or listened to most, if not all of you, before we started this game, just so that I knew what I was prepared for. Uh, and it's quite amazing. Please go check them all out on the QueerXP and all of their other projects. It is 100% worth it. And before, again, I see y'all next time, thank you so much for playing. To those of you who are here with us, thank you so much for watching. If you are tuning in late or didn't get to, or tuning in afterwards, please go and check out our YouTube. You can find up there, or for another 2 weeks here on Twitch, to catch up before next week. And before I sign off, once again, I love you all. And go and everyone out there, love yourselves and love everyone around you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.